My friends, welcome to my channel Focusing FreeCAD. Today I'll be working on this mechanical movement number 140, which is a kind of bias press. I think that's what it says. The toggle joint arranged for a punching machine. And this website also has this animation here. So this is how it works. There is a lever, you push it downward, it will push down this end. And I think this would be a great tool to build on FreeCAD. So today I will be building this model in FreeCAD release candidate 2 of version 1. Let's go ahead and start working on it. First thing first, I want to import this image into here. And I think it's the downloads and right there. All right. And I want to calibrate this image, so there is no measurement in here, so we'll just go by our eyeballing guessing. And let's say the base is about 6 inches wide, so that is, I'm gonna say 150 millimeter. All right, and that will give us some idea like what other dimensions will be. Let's make it half transparent, and I want to place it on X, like on the front, so which is XZ plane right there. And then let's bring in axis cross by pressing AC on the keyboard, and I want to relocate the image to a suitable location. I'm gonna go ahead and say halfway. Not that it matters too much, but I think halfway is good right there. So that's all about image processing. And now I want to build one master sketch on this whole thing, and then we'll be reusing that sketch multiple times throughout this process. And exactly that's why we are building this model in part design. So with that, our first job is to build a sketch on XZ plane, and I'll use the polyline tool and do the outline real quick. All right, so I took a minute and then drew this outline. And if you are first time knowing about this feature, about this new part design, so previously, up until previous version, we could have only one area. For example, if we wanted to draw something in sketch, it would have to be a closed wire. It cannot be something like this. It could not be like that. So it could only be one area. For example, here there are like two separable areas. So up until previous version, FreeCAD could only handle one area, but in part design, the new version, it can have multiple areas in there, and then we can reuse that sketch multiple times. And that's why I built this whole thing, and it will be this master sketch. And here you will see that I have these multiple areas divided in there. For example, this line is broken into two because I want to use these two lines separately at separate steps. And I did all the ballparking, so let me take another minute to actually go through and add some dimensions in here. All right, my friends, I have this sketch fully constrained, and I'll also upload this model on cell lens. So if you wanted to download it and then play around with this sketch, you can have that. So don't worry too much about these dimensions, but also know that these are like ballpark dimension. So if we close that sketch, this is how it looks. As I said, it has multiple areas for us to extrude in part design. So let's take a look at this image one more time and see what we want to extrude first. So this one looks like it's a cross section cut into cross section, and these two parts are like solid ones. So what I'm guessing, this will be the base. So let's go ahead and take care of that first. Now here is one thing now that kind of like bothers me a little. So if you want to use this inner sketch, this inner side to extrusion like padding, you would have to go around and select each small lines. I wish there was this like easier way. So this is a big improvement. So if anybody is listening, maybe we can come here and say double click on this space, and then that would just take all the lines bounding that space, and then like, you know, double click on here, that will select all the bounding edges. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So until that comes, let's go ahead and go around and select all the lines by keeping your control key on the keyboard pressed and using the left mouse key. And now that we have all the outer lines, I can go ahead and pad it up, right? And I can pad it, say I want to say this is so 150 millimeter, right? And I want to make it symmetric to the plane. So this is how it looks like. Later on, I actually want to trim this part just a little bit. So we will worry about that later. And also we'll have to make a fillet at this corner and this corner. So we will do that later. But for now, let's go back to the sketch, make that visible. And so we have that base part. Now we'll have to work on this. So let's hide this pad for a minute and start selecting edges. So you will notice, because I'll be using this part individually, I broke this line in two right at this point. Otherwise this line would not be selectable up until that point. So you'll have to keep that in mind when you are sketching. All right, let's pad that up for now, say about 10 millimeters, sounds good. And make that reverse symmetric, that way it's at the center. So far we have this part and this part. Now on this one, so we'll worry about these bars later, but this supporting side, I'm thinking that will be two sides on two, like there will be gap in the middle for these to play around. With that, what I want to do, bring the sketch back and select the edges. I don't want to select these holes right now. So I want to go ahead and select this outside area. Yes, and then I want to pad it, right? So if I pad it one way, that comes this way, I want to make a gap in there. So I tried out this trick. Let's see how you like that. Select two dimensions in here. So if you select two dimensions, right, this 10 millimeter brings in towards me. This second length 10 millimeter brings away from me. So what if I made, say, this one 15, so that pushes toward me 5 more millimeter, and then I just made this one minus 10. How does that sound? Sounds great. So that's one way to actually offset it from here. I know, like, there are other ways, but this could be done too. So I'm gonna make this one 7.5 millimeter. So the middle gap is 15 millimeter when I just double it up, right? I think that makes it easy. Pretty cool. Now what I want to do, I want to take this one, only this pad. Although when I select this pad, this whole thing selects. If you are proficient on part design workbench, you know that when we are doing mirroring, this pad will only affect this little part. So I select that and mirror it over on this side, and that is going to be the XZ plane there, just like that. All right, so we just got our room for those bars to play around, and there is this. All right, we built the main frame. Now what I want to do, I want to make a pocket here, and I can go ahead and make a pocket, say through all. Pretty good. Now I can go ahead and take the pocket and mirror it again on the other side. So X Z plane, and then make sure there is transform tool shapes is selected. If it is transform body, for some reason it doesn't do it. So transform tool shapes, that's the new thing on this new version. Now it looks like the picture. So there is this spine, there is this main body, and here is the holding pieces. All right, we are going somewhere. Now quickly, I'm going to go ahead and bring the sketch back and use these two holes right there. So these two holes, and then extrude that, make a pad out of it. 10 millimeter will not do it, maybe 20, and make it symmetric to the plane. Make sure this touches these both surfaces, and that is, so that is pretty good. All right, now let's take a look at this image one more time, like this. Now we'll have to work on this. Maybe we'll do this one too. So there is this area where the plunger will go back and forth, and that's integrated to the base, so we'll have to work on that one too. And that one we will just work off of our guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this point, this measurement. So select this point. This is at 43 millimeter in the Z direction. So what I want to do, I want to draw a sketch on XY plane for now, right? And then close it up, and then on that, let's go there in the position on Z. I want to say 43 plus, let's pull that up by 25 more millimeters. All right, 68, maybe make that 70, right? And then what it does is it brings the sketch up right around here, and that's what we wanted to do. Yes. And now on there, turn on the section cross, and then I want to, I took these two, and now there will be a rectangular outside and center circle inside. So we have that sketch. Now maybe rename that sketch, say sketch plunger holder, and then pad it up for 25 millimeter. Sounds good. And there. Now on this one though, I think we'll have to go back. See how these two are not aligning? I would like them to be aligned. So let's go back to this and see this point is 10 millimeter from this side, which I want to use that in here. So delete that, right? And then take these 2 points and then say this should be 10 millimeter. So that way this this will be another holder, and these two are centric at the same center, not eccentric, and that's what we need. All right, so this is our first object, and say this is the base. Works pretty good. And now I'm going to rename that, say base body. All right, let's take another look at this drawing. And now we'll have to work on this plunger, this handle, and then 1, 2, 3 more bars, and this connection would be crazy. All right, and then so we'll have to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small pieces connected in there. So let me take a minute and make these smaller pieces. All right, my friends, so I built all the parts. Let's take a look. This one is the plunger, right? And then we have this vertical bar, right? Where is that? There it is. And then we have the another bar, well, all stuck there. There is the crossbar, there is the handle, and here is the base body. Now note that these bars, the length may need to be updated, so we will work on that when we work actually in the assembly workbench. All right, so all the models, all the parts are modeled. Now it's time to put them together. We will be working on this new assembly workbench, which is new to this model, FreeCAD 1 version. So if you are working on FreeCAD 0.1 version, I'd recommend go ahead and install FreeCAD 1 version from the website and then give it a try. So first of all, we want to add an assembly, and then I want to actually go ahead and hide all of these all of these parts, so that way it's not getting confused. And then I want to add my first thing. So base body was my first thing, and then for me, I set it up. The first part will be grounded, say fixed in there. If you don't have it, so go ahead and click yes. There will be a notification in here. And then I want to add, I want to add the handle there. So in the assembly workbench, you can actually drag this part and then move it anywhere. Click on that, and then it's pretty easy. What I want to do, I want to go ahead and select this. Look at the axis cross. So the z-axis is facing horizontalward, and that's what we need. And then you can select at the end, in the middle, or on this end too. So we are selecting on the middle, and then we will do the same thing on this inside one. So try to make that in the middle part. Yeah, so that way they will be matched together on that middle part. But if you cannot do that, there is this offset portion that you can move it up and down. So we have that 15 millimeter gap, pretty tight fit. In reality, there will be probably just a hair clearance, but let's not worry about that. So that is the cylindrical joint, that's the revolute joint, and this one now moving up and down pretty good. So look at that. So this is very good wide range. And then if you keep coming and it's going inside, which is impractical. So what I want to do, I want to limit it from here to maybe up to here, right? And so we can do that. What we can do is get into assembly and see there is this joint under there. There is this revolute that we just added. Now this one, let's give it a try. We want to rename that as handle revolute, and previously it was not possible. So let's see. Oh, now I can actually keep the name. So there it is. So what I want to do, I want to double click on it, and then you will see that there is this minimum angle and maximum angle. So keeping that, just move it here. So this is our one of our limit, and it says -73 on both of those, and this is our another limit, which is +48. Someone say this is the maximum angle, so let's go to minimum and select that, right? And then let's go to maximum, select that, and that's how we set angles. Now we can actually round it up. Now every now and then it takes a couple trials on this. So if it doesn't work, just cancel it out and then try again. So this is now the limit. Pretty good. All right, the next part I want to add is, say, crossbar. This was the horizontal one, and then now let's move it up somewhere here, and I want to add it with here. So it will be also revolute joint, and this is 4 millimeter gap. So select on the revolute, and I want to select this middle part and select this one. So these are pretty parallel, should be okay. But if it doesn't work, just bring those parts together, like closer, and then make those file surfaces parallel to each other as much as you can. That way the software doesn't get confused. Alright, so now on this one though, I don't want to worry about this angle movement because this is the only part that will be driving things. I don't want to worry too much about it. Now looking at things, alright, let me see. Go to view, and I'm gonna say clipping plane, and I want to do it Y. Yes, I want to keep it right there. So from here, I think I made this one just a couple millimeter longer than what we needed, or maybe not. So I want these two on the same vertical plane, or like almost there. It doesn't have to be like very close, but I see that here is a problem. The animation will still work, but we'll have to kind of like look at that one too. Integration problem. All right, and now if you'll notice, this is the 15 millimeter gap. On this one though, I kind of fattened it up, the end one, because I'll have to fit in 3 parts in here. That's why this plunger is kind of like slick on the end, but in this end is kind of like a little fat. Alright, let's keep adding. I want to say vertical bar bottom, vertical bar top. That's the one I want to add, top one. And then, so this is 4 millimeter, and this is 4 millimeter too. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a revolute joint on the mid and on this one. Right. So in maybe practically I could actually make this 15 millimeter wide as well. That way it would not be go back like left and right. But since it is a revolute joint, it will not move anyway. If it was a cylindrical joint, from here it would go left and right. I have everything set up pretty vertical planes, like in a pretty symmetric, so that way I can keep applying revolute joint. But if you are like feeling a little nervous about it, one of them you could make cylindrical and another one you could make revolute, but they will still act pretty good. Right, on this one though, what I want to do, they have the common center, like the common vertical axis. So I'm going to go ahead and apply revolute joint, or yeah, go ahead and apply revolute joint. Take this middle one and take this middle one. All right, so now what it will do is, okay, view clipping plane on Y, and now we can see. So this is how it is moving. That's the maximum it will go, and then that's the maximum it will come inside. These are the two limits. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add vertical bar bottom. Let's see, can I work on this having the clipping plane? Yeah, I can, but I have to be careful. All right, on this one we'll have to be careful. So let's close this. Now on this I have 2 flanges going in there. So what I can do, so the distance between these 2 ends is 8 millimeter, and then gap is 8 millimeter, so it will fit in perfectly. So it will be another cylinder revolute joint, and on here I want to take this edge, and I want to take this edge, so that way it's fitting in right there. Yeah, just like that. That's what I wanted. It's getting a little tight in here, so I guess, so this clearance is okay, but this one Yeah. All right. So there it is. Now I see right away that this is a little too tall. This vertical bar bottom. I can actually work on it. I can make that length 15 or 16 millimeter, and that will shorten it. So this is parametric, pretty parametric. I can update the parameters from here within the assembly, or I can go in there and then change those values as well. See how it plays around. Right? Oh, is that a gravity effect? It goes all the way, right? And then this one just looks like it was like swinging just for a little bit. I would be really happy if they introduced the gravity effect. As I said in one of my previous videos, I'll be really excited if they had gravity effect included in this assembly workbench, and also a tendon or like a rope effect. Like I could build pulley that way if there was a tension member. All right, and now let's see. Plunger is the last thing we want to add. Now on plunger, this one will go in here. All right, so that's a 4 millimeter gap. So that's going to be a regular joint. I want to take that inside, right? And then take this inside. So taking that circle, it kind of like fits in perfect. But as I said, this edge is kind of little messing things up. Let's pretend it's working fine. I don't want to go in there and then mess things up right now. But this is kind of like the way you should do plunger kind of thing. I guess there should have been a rod in between, but again, I can apply the joint even if the rod is not there. And now I want to bring it down here. All right, so this is going to be a cylindrical joint, this one. So it will allow rotation and movement. So take this and take this there. All right, so let's take a look how it plays now. Wow, it's working fine. So this is the plunger is getting inside, and if you take it all the way down, it will just punch it through. But you see the problem, this pin is not coming down enough, so we'll have to make it long. So I want to say this pad, make that 100. Yeah, no, that's too much. 90 maybe. So that's touching, right? So that's the maximum. Yeah, let's keep it there. So if we bring it up, that much amount of material you can put in there and make a punch. Yes, so now it's working fine. It's punching left and right. Right, I want to see if I can make this fillet. Oh, transparency, where is the transparency? So there's the base body, and I can take the transparency to 50% and see if that helps looking at the movement of this. Awesome. So that is pretty good. If I did these models for the second time, I would probably clean this thing up, make these flanges like to the appropriate length where they will not be touching or like getting into each other. But for now, I think this is a pretty good demonstration of how mechanical models work in assembly workbench. And on this assembly, we only used the one revolute joint, and that was very easy to do. Alright, folks. Alright, folks. Now that we have finished building our model, I am going to go ahead and upload this model onto my on-cell lens library, so that way you can download this model and then play around with it. And I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. I want to go to lens.oncell.com, and they actually gave me unlimited uploading capacity, so I can upload. I've been uploading all my models in here gradually. So, and then it will create a mesh. So if everything we did right, I can actually see the preview right here. And there, that is wild. But know that the assembly is not playing as of this moment. The assembly cannot play the assembly right here, but you can download this. The link is right here. So this is the link. I'll place this link in the description of this video below, so that way you can download it, and then let me know if it is working on your end. And also, if you have any question, comment, or suggestion on this model building or any other thing related to FreeCAD, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.